Hello everyone, welcome to Autism Connect's Instagram Live. So today Tamara is going to join us. And, she is an artist, so I'd just like to give you a small introduction about her. Hello,
Hi,
how
how's
are
it
you?
going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm good. It's my first time doing live stream, so I'm a bit like, because
Okay, I would
on
like to
Instagram.
just talk and you'll be great. So I
Sweet.
was starting with giving your introduction. So I just like to introduce you to all of our audiences. So her name is Tamara, and she's a passionate young lady with a mission to create a world, starting with New Zealand, where all differences are celebrated to be able to live in a world where all can move, think, and free potential. She has conquered control and the voice to change the world. She has produced Xabilities Limited, a company with the goal of equilibrium as our differences is our same sum point. It is what makes us human. She has also helped create the first invisible disability sector report that she also presented in Parliament in New Zealand. She is a professional artist and helps in projects that aim to help inclusion and equilibrium. That's really great to hear that you are doing so good and you are really helping people a lot. And you being the artist, being the artistic mind, I hope that you will be sharing a lot of things with our audiences. And I will not just take more time and I'll tell you to start.
Cool. Yeah. I'm hoping to do a lot more art, especially Māori art, as it's my culture, and yeah, I'm hoping to do a lot to share the expression of autism and culture um, with as many people who want it. But
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Maybe.
oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm currently in isolation because my
Okay.
son has COVID.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Take
So
care.
there may what?
Okay. I said, take care.
Yeah. He's just in like the peak of COVID, so it's some pretty gnarly coughing at the in the background, and I may yeah. It's only me at home, so it's just yeah.
Okay. Just take care of yourself and your son.
Of course, yeah. A lot of breathing, breathing techniques, and spring cleaning while you're in isolation.
So, as your topic for today is how to manage mental health with autism. So, we can just start with. I will just like to give a small. I will also like to request you to also give a small introduction about yourself as well, so people can know you more better.
Cool. Should I do that now?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Ko Tamara Grant aho. I am Tamara or Tamara. I am Māori from Aotearoa, New Zealand, and I am a mother of a 4-year-old, and I have autism, dyslexia, and multiple other diagnoses in the mental health category because we are talking about it today. Usually I'll just be like, mental health, but because we're talking about it, I have PTSD because I've been through a lot of trauma with having autism and also with domestic violence. And I have been diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and only at a doctor standard bipolar. But yeah, so a lot of mental health in my life. um, it's been a journey. And yeah, and I've done things like helping deliver the Invisible Disability Sector Report, which was the first ever information given to government in New Zealand about invisible disabilities, which is better referred as nowadays as neurodiversity. Um, and I am an artist. I'm a Māori artist registered under Tō Iho, which is a where you get your qualifications to be to hold the Māori artist name. And so I do art. I run my own company called social enterprise called Xabilities, which is on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Xabilities is all based around helping people thrive to be themselves, and as you said, helping them think, move, and feel without fear of judgment, so they can reach their full potential. We do this in workshops. I do public speaking, doing social media content, just trying to reach out as much as possible to get the awareness, the acceptance out there. So advocating for the neurodiversity sectors, with my historical experiences with having it. And also we're currently in the process of building a school system to support neurodiversity and its diverse learning. And we've got a lot of projects coming up, but that's kind of us at Xabilities, well, me at Xabilities. We work alongside a lot of different charities in Aotearoa as well, to help spread the word. It's all about spreading the word. So once we come in with those systems and those actual supporting things from actual autistic people, we can have a basis of people with the knowledge to be able to accept it and to thrive in the proper ways, in the best ways. And so that's a little bit about me. Yeah.
It was great hearing to a lot of things which you have gone through, but still you're working really hard and you have made a good company where also you're spreading awareness and doing a lot for other people too. So that's really amazing.
Thank you. I'm fully going by your guidance in this live stream. Whatever you say, I will talk about. I have absolute no filter, and I refuse to mask about things. So any questions or anything, I'm willing to answer on this topic or anything to do with autism.
That's really great. I hope our audiences ask you questions and hopefully they get their answers.
Yeah.
So yes, now you can start with your topic. So now
yes,
you can talk.
Awesome. Well, I thought the best way to talk about managing mental health with autism was sharing my experience of what I've been through and how I've gotten out of it. So I'll start from the beginning. I was born. I was born different. I was born with autism, and but I didn't get diagnosed until later on, as that's a typical thing for women, which I hope we can change as a community, with realizing it earlier and not realizing it as a bad thing. I personally dealt with a lot of trauma with being different, as anyone does with their differences in this type of world. And with that, education was really where my mental health took my biggest toll, was when I started that. Because I couldn't pass the tests. I still to this day do not have any of my qualifications in schooling or anything to that. I didn't get one credit or score. I don't know how everyone else words it, but I just couldn't pass the test. And there was days where I would study all night and try my hardest, even do extra curriculum things in those special aid classes, because I knew I had dyslexia from a very young age, because it's very noticeable that I was different. But I'm 22 years old too, by the way. So it wasn't too long ago I was in school. And yeah, so through education, and even at the beginning, the having sensory overloads in the middle of classrooms and just bursting into tears randomly and not being able to explain it was really hard, because of that lack of awareness in schooling about autism and even about mental health. So I went throughout school starting to be called labels from teachers, from pieces of papers, from students as that dumb kid. And then like people turn around and be in classrooms like, oh, if you're in Tamara's classroom, that means you're in the dumb classroom. Like I was known as that kid. I had a really big passion though, even through all of the bullying, physical, mentally, verbally, from others. I still held my own, and I was like, no, I love science. I was all about it. I learned the periodic table by the time I was 7. I was very, very passionate about enhancing the human and creating this perfect remedy, which later on I did more research too and figured out that science wasn't the only way to do this. But then anyway, so there was a passion since I was very young, was science and chemistry. And so by the time I got to college, they hold individual classes for science, and that's what I was really like, it was my ounce of hope that I was holding on to. And through all this bullying and discrimination I was going through, for just being different, I managed to hold it in and wait to college. And by the time I got to college and could attend these science classes, I was in a situation where I would just study so much. Like I was like, as long as I pass science, like I've got to pass that. I've been studying this since I was like 6 years old. Like it's got to happen. And then I started study, and then got to the test and I didn't get one answer right, because I like nowadays I know it was because I didn't understand the wording, or like yeah, I didn't understand the wording, the sentences. I would answer different things for different answers. My dyslexia would mix it all up, so I struggle to this day with reading. So which is very hard to run a company when you can't really read. But you find your ways and your own ways of how to do that, and how to get by doing that. And so that really discouraged me, and created a very deep depression and anxiety for my self-worth, because I had no longer have any hope. Like the one thing I was holding on was I am good at science, and that was now destroyed, and there was not one part of education that I could get support in. And then apart from that, as I couldn't really make friends. I didn't really understand how to hold a friendship. I have one friend who's still my best friend to this day. They held on through all school, but you know, one person can only do so much for you, and it's very hard to branch out. And then even if I was in a friend group, I would be like, who are you people, and freak out every once in a while. And which is very strange. I still do this to this day. But I've learned to just be like, oh, that's just me. But so anyway, so then so I didn't have any peers that really understood me, and then let alone my family were just they were having regular meetups about my health, about my mental health. Like, why is Tamara such a bad like not person, but bad behavioral, like yeah, having bad behavior, in the ways of teachers bringing up that I can't pass a test, that I'll have random outbursts of sounds and noises, and in classrooms, and just being destructive. And a lot of the teachers as well said that I'm probably on drugs and different things like that. So then I got later labeled as a drug user, when and that's how I learned what drugs were, was because I was labeled as that because I was different. So it's that lack of awareness again. And then so yeah, so I've just pretty much been degraded through. Well, my family didn't mean it. All they were doing is trying to help me, and I loved them because I understood they were just trying to help me. And I would they would call me up and be like, "Oh, we're just going for coffee, like it's fine." And then they'll take me somewhere, and then it was some dyslexia course, or some like for people who are different learners course, or some art course. And I'm like, I don't need help. And I really refused it because I believe deep inside, no matter how depressed I got in life, that I have to do it my way, and that I'm different, and I'm not going to conform to dumb down my brain and to be someone else who I'm not, which I was very strong about, and something I held since I was a kid, since I was born. And then so my family didn't understand me and wouldn't accept who I was because they didn't know who I was, and I couldn't express that either. And then didn't have friends. Education failed me. I was in a black hole. So that was my childhood. And I ended up I attempted suicide countless times, couldn't even count, majority at school. And one time I ended up at Starship Hospital, which is a child's hospital in Aotearoa, in New Zealand, and for ending my life. And it wasn't until I was in there and I saw X-Men. I saw the movies X-Men, which is a Marvel Cinematic Universe of superheroes, of what they call mutants, or people who are outcasts, people who are different, and they're mistreated throughout their whole lives until they come to the school for the gifted, and they get nurtured and get told that, like, no, that difference is beautiful, it's who you are. And I, at this time, didn't know I was autistic, and I only got diagnosed with different mental health all the time. And then even at the hospital and by professionals, I would give them charts of where I think my dopamine levels are and where I think my mental health are, and then doing diagrams in shapes of yin yangs to show them how I'm misbalanced in my head and everything. And they just turn around to me and be like, "You're too young to tell me how you feel." And I was like, okay. So like, not even medical professionals would accept me or let me be me, which again just deepens that dark hole inside myself. And then so then I ended up, but then I had X-Men, and they had so much hope for the school, and they all embraced themselves. They became the superheroes of tomorrow, or they were able to leave and live normal lives. And it just gave me this warm feeling inside of, and out of all the darkness, because when you're suicidal, all you can see is like, it's dark, no future, no past. There's nothing in your head. There's no imagination. There's nothing. It's just like, oh, what's next? But you don't even think about what's next because you couldn't imagine it. But so that's the feeling of suicide. And so, but that watching X-Men gave me like that light in the tunnel. And so I was thinking in my head, those with autism, Down syndrome, any disability or invisible disability are like these mutants, and they just need their place to call home, to be nurtured, to be told that they're not alone. There's even scenes in X-Men where it's like, "You're not alone," and it's like, oh my god. But anyway, so then so it gave me that glimpse of hope where I started imagining more. I started to get my brain out. It's obviously a very long process to get out of very deep traumatic mental health, but as time went on, my mum became a CEO of an autistic charity, and she went to a conference and she was pretty much like, oh my god, this is my child. And so she was like, you have to become an ambassador. And I was like, not without a diagnosis. I wouldn't do something that I'm not. And then I got diagnosed, and it was a huge weight off my shoulder. It was insanely like a relief that I wasn't crazy. I wasn't anything that these people labeled me throughout my life. I'm just autistic. And I thought, like, it gave me so much hope, and that's what I want other people to feel as well when they get diagnosed. Like, it should be a process of like, cool, now watch these X-Men films, now watch these amazing people like Elon Musk, Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, like, see the amazement that autism can bring you when you're not trying to be someone else. So but it's still, because of the mental health and all the trauma that's already happened in my life before the diagnosis, there was still a lot of healing to do. So even though at the time as a teenager I was about 15 at this time, and I thought I was fine. Realizing now I wasn't. So there was a lot of awakening to do throughout that process as well. Um, and I ended up after that in a domestic violence situation. And I won't go into too much detail about that because I've just openly started talking about it. It's been about 4 years since it's happened, and the mental health throughout that was, and how I got through that, why I was in that. I should start there. Why I feel like I was in that, because with domestics, everyone tells you it wasn't your fault. There's something inside you says it was your fault in some way, because I got out of that situation, got with someone else, they did the same thing to me, and I was like, why is this happening? And I realized in myself, it was my self-worth. It was throughout those years, from the education, from the medical system, from family, from friends, telling me that no, you can't, no, you're not worth it, no, like you won't know, no, you're dumb. Like all of that was still inside me, and I hadn't fought through that battle of accepting those weren't true. That wasn't who I was. That was just a system that didn't understand me. So that's why I led in such toxic relationships, and that's toxic friend groups, toxic relationships. Like everything around you becomes toxic because of you lowering your self-worth. So and a lot of it also was because of me not understanding my autism as well, because there was a lot of times where I was really beaten because sorry, I need to breathe. I'd be beaten because of inappropriate things I'll say randomly out loud, and inappropriate personal things that I'll just bring up and overshare to absolute strangers, and just like my non-filter ways, and the and my random outbursts with my hands, and just little tics that I had, which he didn't like, and so that was also something that came out. And because I didn't accept myself, I wasn't there ready to stand up and be like, hey, no, it's just autism, it's actually who I am, it's really cool, like embrace it. Like I couldn't say that because I didn't let myself actually get out of the way from myself. I didn't let myself go and accept who I am as a person. So so then I got out of that situation, and I had my son, and it just gave me, and then like giving myself time alone, out of relationships, away from people. COVID really helped with this as well. I just went into a full, like, I can't advocate for people. I had been advocating for autism throughout this time as well, just the parts that I knew of. Like I didn't talk about domestics or anything because I was still understanding it, processing, healing from it. But now I'm in a situation where I'm like, okay, I know who I am. I can stand up for who I am. I can talk about who I am, and which is all through this self-worth, and letting myself accept myself. And when I do something weird or dark, or maybe someone feels a bit uncomfortable with what I say, then I'm open about my autism. I just say, hey, I'm autistic. Like, I'm sorry if I offended you. Like, if it was really offensive, like I've learned, but I just go, hey, can you tell me how I offended you? I get them to explain it to me. So eventually I do learn from my mistakes, and I am able to hold conversations a lot better because I'm not constantly saying things or misunderstanding, as like I have to ask things like 5 million times, because sometimes it just hasn't sunk in, and I know that I may do something wrong in this process. So I make sure, like, I feel confident with asking questions, with stating who I am, who I identify as, which really helped me with my mental health. And also, I don't mask anymore. Like, I try not to. There are times where it comes up and you tend to mask as a self-defense, but I just use it as a warning sign now. It's like, cool, I'm masking. Like, I'm not being who I am. I'm not all jittery and like, oh my God, how's it going, kind of thing. I'm not all upbeat. I'm like, cool, either your self-health you need to go into sleep or eat or drink water, or you're just not liking the vibe and you should just leave. It's like, and it's okay to just leave. I'm really bad at goodbyes, but it's possible. Like I say bye about 5 million times. I'm like, how do I leave? But yeah, so that's how I now manage my health is also I've started like, and then getting into more details about what I do nowadays is because throughout this time that I've talked about all that trauma, I was on and off medication and different things to try and just help me get by, which is not a bad thing. Like, it shouldn't be a bad thing to take medication for those times. Nowadays, I do not take any medication. I just eat healthy, eat my vegetables, have my fruit, have my water, the occasional piece of meat. Like, I sometimes even track my calories. I just make sure, because sometimes I forget to eat, so I sometimes track my calories to make sure I eat. And also helps when you're a mum and you already got to do it for him, so you remind yourself, oh well, I'm supposed to be doing that too. It's a lot easier to do it for others than it is yourself. So yeah, so just watching what I eat, making sure I'm having enough, and also I've started gymming recently, which has helped so much. It's just to get into your own space as a mother, even just to be in your own bubble, in your own place that you can call yours. And that, like, also that was down to also how I saw my body. As I see pictures of myself and I'm like, I don't look healthy, and I was like, I just didn't like it. And I was like, you know what, you can't complain if you're doing something about it. So that's why I started going to the gym and started doing workouts. And I have chronic fatigue as well, so I was really scared about, let alone like people and lightings and like the sound. And I was really scared about going to the gym to benefit myself. And so I did things at home at first to lose weight, to be comfortable in my body, so I felt confident going to the gym. And then I started like and then when I went and signed up to the gym, I told them I'm autistic, I have chronic fatigue, maybe fibromyalgia. They still haven't decided on that yet. But so, and then they were like, sweet, like, that's all good. And I was like, I'm going to be wearing sunglasses, I'm going to be wearing headphones, like I'll probably be working out in track pants and a jumper, like is that weird? And then they pretty much told me, like, no one looks at you when you're at the gym, they're all focusing on their own stuff, they're not going to be worrying about you. And the more I did it, the more I could start to slowly put my sunglasses down, start to just come in more gym appropriate clothes so I wasn't passing out. And I also didn't put a lot on myself. I would just like start a little bit on treadmill, a little bit of body weight, just sit-ups, squats, things like that, really small things, and just leave. Oh, stretches, and just leave. And like some days it's just stretches, as long as I just get there, and like it boosts my confidence a bit. So I don't have to like go hard out, because I tried that, and then you just break from, because your body just overloads itself. And I struggled with constantly doing long walks rather than going to the gym, because I get too overstimulated with everything passing by. So I thought, like, walks are a limited thing for me. And that's okay. Like, there's other things to do. And like walks in different environments help me. Like I can obviously walk, but I have to make sure I do it in different settings, so I'm not doing it in a routine, or else it's just one of my triggers, one of my personal triggers. And yeah, so that helped me a lot. And it also, I haven't had a mental episode from the PTSD. I've had like the normal sensory overload amount, which is like just like when you go into a place and it's way too stimulated and you just have to back away. So so I would say that was normal amount for myself. Not like for like normal amount, meaning I still have it, but it's not bad. And then and my chronic fatigue, my body is fit, I'm able to do more, I'm able to do more with my son, and it's amazing. The benefits of it. And I was really against it, because I thought it was all about your looks, but it's not. It really does help your movement and also your body in taking all the stress and all the pressure. And also just for a good decent 2 years, anytime someone complimented, I would just straight away be like, yeah, I'm awesome, I'm the man, and I'll just fully like boost my ego up. Even though for the first year I did not mean it at all. I would say it and be like, yeah, I'm awesome. And like when someone like says, oh, you're really like doing well, I'm like, yeah, I am, fucking man, like, what do you mean? Like, I'll just get still like pump myself up, and I wouldn't believe it then, but now when I say it to myself, I'm like, yeah, that's true. I was like, thank you. Like, I started to really believe it and sink it in, and which really helped. Like, fake it until you make it, and I faked it until it became true. And like, yeah, and also like there was something I saw on social media the other day, and it was saying that like anxiety is something you just got to live with, and it's not. I have had no anxiety since I really healed myself and really went through the process of saying, hey, you're not going to be able to do anything until you sort your life out. And you know, putting down like I would go and do random 9-to-5 jobs. I'll end up in hospital, and then like because something will get triggered in my back, and then like my stomach will be in so much pain, I'll feel like I'm giving birth, and it would just really collapse me, and it just doesn't suit my autism. And it was really hard as a mother. All you want to do is provide, and but that was just something I couldn't do, and it's part of the reason as well I made Xabilities, because if I can't do anything to help the system already made, then I'll make a new one that can help people like me. So yeah, so that's what I've done. It's just I'm a big believer of the Māori word for autism, which is takiwatanga, and that means in his or her own time and space. So because that's pretty much how you got to live when you're diverse, is you got to do it in your way, in your time, in your space, and that includes like the people you invite into your life, the things you watch on television. Like, if it triggers you, it's okay to say no, and it's okay to not do things that you don't want to do. Like, you got to do it in your space, and then the more you do that as well, is the more you're going to find yourself, because you'll be in situations you love, like people you're happy around, and your life will start to be whatever you dream about, whatever you really want out of life, because you're following what you love and you're following your heart rather than your brain. So because your brain actually isn't made, like, your brain isn't made to make you feel things. It's triggered, and it's emotive, so it makes your body actually do the motive of your life. It helps you move, it helps you helps you be conscious, but it doesn't help you feel. It doesn't make fulfillment in your life. It doesn't give you purpose. It just does what you say it does. So you got to, I feel, how to manage your health, how to manage your mental health with autism. Personally for me, it was by being myself, and that's very, like, people say, oh, just be yourself, and like, how? It's like, find the things you like and do it, and there's no excuses. You shouldn't live in a life where you're doing things that are making you unhappy, because that is a life you're going to eventually regret. And no matter how much money you have, like I do big events for people with autism, I will never have any money to start with, and I'll never have any funding, but I'm like, hey, it feels right in my heart, it feels right for the people around me, I'm going to do it. And eventually everything falls in place, everything's covered. It's like, if you just keep following your heart, you will be safe, and you would be careful, and you will start living a life that you love. So that's what I've done personally in my life, and what I'm still living by, and obviously still learning a lot of different tricks to help and keep going and expand. I'm only 22, so we've got a lot more to learn, but I'm pretty happy with the life I've got with my son and my company and my health. Yeah.
Everyone, so sorry. Everyone has their own story. Like, listening to a story where someone has really, like, being for yourself. Like, being for yourself is the biggest thing you can do. And while, like, it's really difficult. Like, suffering from all that mental traumas and being yourself and just not letting anybody know and doing something really great is really amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, a little bit about, well, it's pretty much my whole life. Dished out on the table.
All like whatever you are doing is really something very good, spreading awareness and doing things for people. So I really wish you all the best and may you succeed like in whatever you are doing.
Thank you so much. It's so lovely.
Yeah.
Was
So
there
anything, sorry?
oh, sorry. You go.
No, no.
I was going to ask, is there anything you want me to say or anything? Any questions or anything?
Yeah. I hope our audiences have any questions for us. Mike says is saying sometimes that help that tells autistics to advocate for themselves can have instances like what you're describing where it calls you to hold back instead of advance. He is just randomly saying something. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
like I
any
found, oh,
to give to manage mental health by yourself, like any you want tips which maybe was very helpful for you that you have like done it for yourself, like usually people go out like if they have some issues they uh, go to a psychologist or they just consult somebody. So are there any tips which you have been using for yourself like to manage your mental health by yourself?
yes. Like, I personally go to a counselor every week.
Okay.
Not because I necessarily need it, but because like it's just about that self, like it's nice to go to someone every week, but it was a mission to find the right counselor for me, because I went to so many different types of psychotherapists and counselors, and top of the line to the bottom of the line. Like I tried everything to try and help myself, and at the end of the day, I was really scared to ask for a spiritual counselor. I was really scared to ask for a clairvoyant, because I was like, that's not the normal thing to do. But I am a very spiritual person, and that's a very personal thing for me. But I eventually finally asked my mum. I was like, hey, do you think it'll be okay if I go to this lady? Like she worked with autistic children throughout her whole life. She so this is all the different things I researched about her to make sure like it was accepted. Yeah, she's worked with autistic children. She was a registered counselor, like and she was a clairvoyant, and she is a clairvoyant, and does all the different like Reiki and different things like that. And I felt really inappropriate to ask, can that be my normal counselor every week? Because I thought, tarot readings and everything like that, like that's just something, she doesn't personally do tarot readings. So that kind of field was something you just do at markets or at fun times, like, or times you just need some help. Like it wasn't something you could do every week. And but once I finally stood up and said, no, this is how my brain works. Like I have constant dreams about different planets and different areas, and I have so much to say in my head that I really can't say out loud because it's a little bit strange and out of the normal field of Earth. So because of that, I eventually found this lady, and it really helped me because she spoke my language. Like straight away, we were doing astral projections and just getting into like things that I'll do by myself, and I felt so alone. And she could unleash that in me, and it gave me this newfound confidence of really like, oh my god, like I found my person that can speak my language, and it really helped my mental health. And I've been going to her for around 3 years now, and every week. And I I try to do every week nowadays. Like sometimes it's once a month depending on workloads, but I just try to go as much as possible, because she, like, it's just sometimes it's nice to vent to someone, and there's no judgment. It's a safe space. And with someone who has a very hyperactive life and hyperactive mind, and a lot of deep inner thoughts and feelings, it's really nice to be able to just talk that through with someone. So that's something, finding your person, finding the right counselor really helps. And because I feel like depression, anxiety, that was a lifestyle for me. Like I say, it's a lifestyle because I didn't know it was possible to be happy. I didn't know that you could actually live a life where you felt good about yourself, you felt good about your decisions, you felt like you have a right. And but finding her, doing all the self-help, the self-searching myself, even to a point where I got so far back where I had to look at my company and be like, hey, am I still doing this for people? Am I just doing this for me? Or am I just doing it for the look? I had to step back and be like, what are you actually doing this for? Are you coming from a right place? And like all of that self-reflection, finding the right people to talk to, and just like the safe people around you, and also like disconnecting from a lot of things, just changed my life. And really spun it around. And then I realized, like, the day that I found happiness, I was like, oh my God, you can have this all day. It's not a glimpse. It's not something you can just like, well, there was my happiness. There was my dopamine for the day. Okay, that's all there is. And I was like, time's up. Now it's back to trying to be happy and masking while being absolutely miserable and just having very negative thoughts. But no, like I'm genuinely happy, and it's a lifestyle. And when I have a dark thought, it's constantly like, cool, going back through that checklist. Have you ate? Have you slept? Have you drunk water? Have you overloaded yourself with stress? What do you need to do? Do you need a massage even? And not feeling bad about doing those nice things for yourself, like massages. It's also something that's really helped. It's like really nice things to yourself, like sometimes even asking for a babysitter, like just the smallest things can really improve your health, and not being ashamed about it. Like if you feel like you need to walk in one direction, walk it, because the more you don't, the more days of recovery you're going to need. And because I spent so many years in that area of not helping myself, it was so much healing I had to do. And like even to the point where I became non-verbal for like for half a year, where it was I was just very like well, I went to the hospital because they thought I had a stroke, because also half my face drooped down like this, and I couldn't walk either. But because I have a history of mental health, they kicked me out. But so I spent half my year not being able to talk, but it's good though. Me and my son did learn kind of how to just look at each other and be like, and it would just be like, and so now we're like, kind of thing. but but there's more than one way to live a life, and I feel that's got to do it in your own time, space, feel good about your decisions. And if you don't, then you're not in the right space, and you need to try another way. Like there's like Albert Einstein said that about insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And there's so many options in this world, no matter what place of life you walk, or like there's always an option, and there's always, your mind is an incredible tool, and everyone is born with a gift. Even though it's an X-Men quote as well, even though it doesn't feel like that at first, like because and then my family has a saying as well that God always likes to wrap up his gifts in problems. So it's like there's nothing good like comes without a little bit of work, without a lesson. Like that's the balance of it. And that's what I learned in life. Like even to this day, when something hard will come up while I'm working, and I'm like, cool, I get really excited about it now, because I'm like, what am I learning? What's new? What's going to happen next? And I get really, I'm just like, where's the drama? And I'm just like, what do I need to cut out? Or what do I need to do more of? What do I need to learn? And like, you know, like I did a speech to explain my recent Māori painting, and like I know a little bit of te reo, a language, but not a lot. And I struggle pronouncing English, let alone Māori. And I was like, you know what? That was really difficult. I need to learn about it. And like I'm not going to put myself down for doing a speech and being like, hey, I could have done that better. I'm going to look at it and be like, cool, let's go and learn about it. and just keep striving, keep thriving. I don't know the difference between those two words. But yeah, and just keep moving forwards, and every stepping stone is another step towards your goal. That's a great quote.
I really liked you said something. Managing mental health is being yourself.
Yeah,
You said in between, so I just like that. So I just wrote down on my page. It's really good to hear. Like managing mental health is just being yourself.
exactly. It's what it's the magic pill. It's
Yes,
literally for everything. Like you want to improve your work, you want to improve your life, you want to improve your family life. The magic pill is being yourself. And there's going to be hard yards because of years of masking for neurotypicals and neurodiverse people. But once you do it, it's when you become happy.
exactly. You should just do whatever feels good to you. That's
Yeah,
that's what you are saying, like the magic pill. That's great.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
I mean,
really an amazing conversation. I hope if somebody has any sort of questions, they can just ask us. But sadly, we just have one people. Okay. So, anything more you would like to share as this live would be promoted on all our social media platforms? So, a lot of people will see the live and they will hear what experiences and what you have shared. So, anything else, just a last note for our audiences?
hi.
Yeah,
um, um, yeah, just be yourself. It's worth it. It's pretty much the. I feel like that's as we're summed up is like the way to manage your mental health is to be yourself, and that's the magic pill. I think it's the perfect way to sum everything up. Do you mind if I use this live stream as well and post it somewhere and like
yeah,
record
yeah.
it?
I'm posting it on our Instagram and then I'll tag you and then you can just repost it on your page as well.
Awesome! It sounds great. Well,
Yes.
I hope this helped whoever saw it.
So nice to meet you. Yeah, someone is really happy to meet you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we are more than thankful to you that you came with us. You came live with us and you shared such wonderful experiences. That was really amazing to hear whatever you discussed with us. And thank you so much. Autism Connect is really happy to collaborate with you, and we really think that we will be doing something more in the future as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm always excited to make more connections and to expand and help as many people as possible.
Yes, I also hope you even spread the word about us, as even we are working really hard to reach each and every parent having a child with autism, because even we are working for this cause and we are really working hard building our website. Like, if you know, Autism Connect has a website where we have collated all the information related to autism, and we also have a unique directory where you can find therapists for your child from any part of the world. Like, you just need to add the details accordingly, and it's a worldwide website. Basically everybody can find something for them on the website.
It's awesome.
Yes,
That's an awesome tool to have. Yeah, I definitely refer people that need to find the right help.
yes, yes, yes. That was really amazing talking to you. I hope you enjoyed coming live with us, and it was an amazing session.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was awesome. I love talking, so I actually got told as a kid that I talk too much and that would be a problem. And now I'm a public speaker, so it's like
Okay, then I hope we are done with the topic and the audiences do not have any questions. So maybe we are good to end the live. Love to meet you guys. That's really amazing. Someone is really
Thank you.
Okay then. Bye bye.